everybody. Welcome to a new season of That Dexter Cow Guy podcast. Hope all's well with you when you're surviving the quarantine or the social distancing, as it were, with the coronavirus, and hope everybody's staying healthy. This season kickoff takes me to Tennessee to start with this episode of Freedom Farms. Well, one thing the trip to Tennessee has taught me that I'm in desperate need to update my audio, and I did just that a minute ago. So bear with the audio for this trip. Although the audio is not great, the interviews are fantastic, and so are the people. And we will see you guys very soon. Don't forget, send me your email addresses to be in a newsletter that I will put out every other week as well. So enjoy this episode and talk to you soon. So, welcome everybody to season 2 of That Dexter Cow Guy podcast. We started this season with a road trip down to Tennessee to visit a couple farms, and I'm here at Freedom Farms today with Sally and Warren Coad. Appreciate you guys having me out.
We're glad you came down.
I was in heaven out there in the pasture, petting all the cows. So, guests this season, we're going to start off here, and then I'm going to head over to Cheney's, which you guys know well.
Absolutely. So, very good friends.
Yep, and then the Michigan Cattlemen's Association, Michigan Large Animal Vet still coming on, and Laura from PDCA are all the scheduled guests now. Things are a little bit crazy with the whole coronavirus thing going on, so I'm doing my best to work through that. We're actually in the barn today, so you're getting the whole sound effects too, just so everybody knows. I love it. It's great. I'm in heaven here. I love this farm. So, and we're going to do my milking stanchion project, which it'll be fun in itself, just so you guys can see my carpentry skills, or lack thereof. And then the fencing and the paddock project, of course, that's going to happen immediately. So, this season, I said, we got some upgrades coming, and we got a camera. We're going back to the recorded format instead of the live. We will do live feeds. I was doing live stuff, and it was a lot of fun. It's just, unpredictable.
So, go figure.
Yeah, so if you have bad video, you can't edit it. You know, it is what it is. So we're going back to the recording format for now. And we'll have live ones, like the shows. If they don't cancel any of the shows, we'll live stream from there, and that's going to be fun.
That'll be great.
So, and then, believe it or not, people have already asked for Warren Farms and That Dexter Cow Guy podcast merchandise. I don't know why, but you have, so we're going to do it. And I need a new coffee cup, so that gives me a good excuse to get one. So, that stuff's coming. We're going to have shirts, hats, glassware. And I'm going to start also a newsletter. I know a couple people said, we don't know when you guys are coming, when your shows are going to be on. And it will be bi-weekly, religiously this season. So I'm doing recording. That allows me a little more. I can record ahead of time, edit, and then post. So every 2 weeks, it'll be a new one out. So if you want to get on a newsletter, though, send your email to me. I have some that I am, but I'm populating a bigger email list to send out a newsletter with info on shows and whatnot and other facets of my journey through Dexterhood. So that's coming up. So send your email in again to me or Warren Farms. Oh, hi, Kitty. We got a killer over here. What's her name? Bobby.
Yeah.
Yep, she's a sweetheart to us. But if you're a mouse, look out. So, as always, I want to thank the people and companies that help support me and bring this my Dexter and Farm journey to you guys through these podcasts. As always, Mike Ligorio from Field and Stream Taxidermy in Howell, Michigan. He specializes in whitetail trophy, whitetail bucks, and deer, I guess, if you want to get your doe done, and all other large game animals. Matt and Emily Boovey with Shamrock Meats LLC in Zeeland, Michigan. Shamrock Meats, raised by our family to feed yours. And last but not least is my farm, Warren Farms Dexter Cattle in Bellevue, Michigan. We're raising registered Dexter cattle and beef packs. So, Sally Warren Coad, thank you again for hosting me today. I know you guys are busy in the farm, and you guys have a pretty substantial organization going on here, so I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a busy morning and an inch and a half of rain overnight, just for good measure.
I think I wasn't sure if I turned off onto a lake at some point last night coming in. It was nuts on the expressway.
No, it's
coming through the mountains, but
Tennessee
it's so
gets much better and probably another month.
Well, everything here is in bloom, and that made it beautiful. Like northern Kentucky or central Kentucky to Tennessee, the trees are in bloom. It's beautiful. Today in Michigan, it was 19 and snowing, so I'll take this all day.
Yep.
So, the standard question that I have on every podcast is, I
I know you're not one of my 3 listeners.
We have actually listened to some of them.
Oh, okay. So you're the 3. You're the 3rd. All right. So the standard question I get is, how did you guys get started in farming, ranching?
Well,
and how did it lead to Dexter's?
I mean, Warren was kind of in the field, right? Because he worked at dairies, he threw hay probably since he could walk, and stuff like that. I grew up in New Orleans, right? So not a big country girl. And when we moved to Connecticut, I started riding horses and actually became a professional rider.
Oh.
And so I was in the equestrian side of agriculture.
Sure.
Very different than the cow, sheep, goat, chicken side of agriculture.
That's what I've heard.
But, and of course horses, as horses are, you need at least a full-time job to support them. And so, but my job was about 60 to 70 hours a week, and I found I just did not have time for the horses. So we got rid of the horses, and that's really when we started with the cattle. We found Dexter's by accident, and that's really history.
How long ago was that? Was
about 25 years ago.
The switch from horses to cows, or?
Yep.
Okay, right on. I know a lot of horse people.
Pretty much. We had Angus and Hereford crosses and stuff, but they weren't in our backyard. We had a brand new horse barn built in our backyard for my horses.
Nice.
And then when I got rid of them, it's just like, so we looked at mini horses, we looked at lowlines, which were, I think, Lolitas then, and now they're Aberdeen Angus. But anyhow, we looked at all sorts of different things, and then we found Dexter's.
Okay. So
as I said, quite by accident.
Well, that's okay. It's a good accident to stumble on. You can't go wrong with Dexter's.
No.
We had Herefords, and you just can't compete with Dexter's.
Yeah.
I mean, and people that don't have Dexter's they won't get it.
They don't get it.
It just is.
Yeah, it was definitely love at first sight.
Yeah. Hi, Kitty. So, tell us about Freedom Farms here. You got...
Well,
and this is all right, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
The second farm I've been in Tennessee. I went to Cheney's. We visited the Cheney's Dexter Canada last time I was here. You guys can't beat the scenery here. I mean, you guys have beautiful views everywhere you look. And it's kind of, I'm super jealous.
We do.
I look out, I have a mud farm. I'm growing mud.
Yeah, well, so are we. So are we right now. But as I said, boy, it'll be a huge difference in about a month. It'll be gorgeous. So as far as Freedom Farms, the name Freedom Farms actually started nothing to do with cattle, right? It had to do with my training horses.
Okay.
And my logo was kind of freedom from pain and freedom of movement, because I did a lot of dressage, and I was a licensed myotherapist, which is basically a massage therapist that works specifically on target muscles, etc.
Okay.
And so that was my card: Freedom Farms, freedom from pain, freedom of movement. I did dogs and horses, and it just carried through. When we started, of course, when we got Dexter's, right, we got the token 3 Dexter's, like, a lot of people. We got one cow, and we got her son and her husband, right, if you will.
Right.
And so farming, we didn't need a name for the farm because it wasn't a farm. They were our pets.
Sure. Wow. Exactly.
But then it happened. When we bought the Dexters, we didn't know it was actually a breed.
Okay.
All right. So they were advertised, just herd of Dexters, need to sell due to health reasons. The guy had, sadly, terminal cancer. He was way up in age. And so I don't think when I called him I even asked how big his herd was, but what I did ask him was, what is a Dexter? And he said, it's a small cow. I'm like, we'll come right out. And our first cow, we pulled in the driveway, and it's like, well, where are they? And here comes this short, really fat, short-legged, dun cow out of the barn. It's just like, we'll take them, And so we took them, and then months later, we got boxes of registration papers, old bulletins, old Livestock Conservancy magazines and stuff, and so then we started reading. And only then did we realize we actually bought registered stock, and there was a breed called Dexter's and all this, and so that's what really started the fever. So then we went from 3 to about 17 or 20. Yeah, in a very short time, all across the country. I talked to many breeders, And so it's just a sickness.
Yeah, the only one is it's good to have. Like, yeah. I totally understand it. But I'm sure once you started reading the stuff, you understand just how important of a breed Dexters are.
Yeah, I mean, it was really eye-opening. We had no idea, right? We just bought them because they were cute.
Sure.
I mean, we had our beef animals, and so, they were adorable. So we did that, and a few years down the road, we had an accidental breeding, or rather, we bought a pregnant cow that was bred like way close to her. And so we're like, well, it'll be beef, whatever it is. And so luckily, she had a boy, and we named it Porterhouse, and raised him and tasted him. And as soon as we tasted him, the other cows were history.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happens that way. Yeah. And if I urge everybody to find Dexter beef if you can and try it, because you won't go back. I mean, it's just.
We'll have some available April 6th.
There you go.
We're sold out right now, but April 6th we'll have more.
With the coronavirus going on, it's selling hand over fist.
It is crazy.
And this will, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate way to get return customers, but I'm sure once people try it, the supermarkets are out, but here's a fresh, they're going to try it, they're going to come back.
Well, and it's a huge help to the local farmers, because we brought steers and lambs to the market because we're amping up for farmers markets to start. Sure. And now with this coronavirus, we just got notification they're all canceled. They're all done. So now we have to reach out on Facebook and on our website to sell our beef, and
and it's going quick.
It's going super quick,
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's what you want to do, is sell beef.
That's absolutely right. And the more people that, a lot of people are just buying 25 pounds of a hamburger, but once they taste that hamburger, they're coming back.
Yeah. The steaks have got to be really good. So. Yeah. So if anybody has a toilet paper farm, they're probably doing pretty well too. The stores when I came here, and I went I'm staying in Athens, and I went to a couple grocery stores, and they're all out as well. The big ones. That's insane. Yeah. What's going on? It's a crazy, crazy world right now.
It is.
But like you said, it's helping the small farmers, and if that's any way we can, that's unfortunate way to do it, but we'll take it. So
that's right.
We have, when I mentioned that we have a steer and actually a 4-year-old cow. I think we're going to take in soon, just to for nothing else, get our family covered.
That's right. That's right.
So what other animals do you have on the farm? I know.
Well, we have
cows. We
have our Dexters.
I do cows.
We have about 75 head of cattle, and so the majority of that are registered Dexters. We have one white Dexter bull registered, and then we have 3 registered British white cows, and we have probably 6 to 10 unregistered or crosses.
Sure.
Yep. So besides Dexters, we have Katahdin sheep.
Okay.
Which are a hair sheep, so we don't have to shear them. They're pretty self-sufficient. And so we have, I think as of this morning, we have 50 or 51 of them. And we have 8 goats. We have a dairy goat buck, and then we have 1 dairy goat doe, and the rest are meat goat crosses. And they should have started producing a couple days ago, but they have not. We keep chickens. We don't raise chickens. We have no roosters. And we actually raise exotic birds. So we have lovebirds and cockatiels that we have in the house, and they're sitting on eggs. We have 2 little baby cockatiels. One's a day old and one's 3 days old. And so all that is all we do is farm. We don't have a job, right? Besides farming.
Well, I was gonna say,
besides farming, right?
Right.
We're not, and so the market was poor, or went down, right, for all Dexter breeders, for all cattle breeders everywhere, the past couple of years. And so we figured that we better diversify a little bit. And a lot of our meat customers wanted to know if we did lamb. And so that's really that's really how we ended up with so many different things. Of course, I was laid up from surgery for months and months, and that's where the birds came in, is I needed something inside that I could deal with.
Yeah.
And so, so we have, some breeding pairs of birds, but other than that, of course, our two house cats. Yeah, you wish. Our 2 barn cats.
Every barn cat.
And our 2 house dogs.
Okay.
But that's it. That's enough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was talking with Warren about the sheep and the lambs, because that might be a better option than goats. The only reason we opted away from sheep is because of the shearing. But if we can get a hair sheep, that might be.
They are easier. I love my goats. I love the goats. But they are harder to take care of than the sheep. So sheep are pretty self-sufficient. The goats are not.
Self-sufficient is what I need. I work a lot of my normal job. So. And so does Cheryl. So
and a lot of the sheep people, even the Katahdin sheep people, say that when they lamb, you have to shut them up in a stall or a jug they call it, so that they bond with their babies and stuff. Honestly, we've only had 1 out of 52, animals not be good parents.
Okay.
They bond out there. They bring them in the barn to have them. They take them out when it's nice out. They're great mamas, and we bought scrub sheep.
He told me a funny story. Yeah,
just and we knew it, which is fine.
Right.
As long as you know it, and that goes for everything: cattle, goats, whatever. Generally, you get what you pay for, and so if there's a bargain, there's a reason.
Yes,
and you prepare for it. That's all. That's just the way it goes with livestock.
Yeah. So we started with what did we get? I think we got. I don't know if we got the standard 3 Dexters or if we got 4, but I think we got 3. We started off from Pat Mitchell at Shamrock, and we hadn't owned cows aside from what I told you leading up to Dexter's, and but now that we're in it a few years, 5, 6, 7 years, that we're starting to see what we want in our herd, and it's kind of neat to be able to go out into farms and pick and choose and be like, this is what, so that, I get that.
And now Dexters are so much more popular than they were when we started, right? For us to look at Dexters, we'd have to drive a couple states over, and take a look. So really, we just did it all by phone.
That's
rolling
the dice a little bit that way, but
it sure is. But we learned a lot. We learned that there was huge differences in bloodlines as far as temperament and build, and that's what I tell folks too. When you're looking for Dexters, go to many different farms, because honestly, a lot of times it'll make you think you're looking at 3 or 4 different breeds. They can be that different. And so that's kind of important. But that's one of the wonderful things about Dexters, is there's something for everyone. Whether they want a little bitty animal or a bigger beef producer or a bigger dairy producer, the super friendly, not so friendly, self-sufficient. There's something for everyone. Horns, polled, right? Right. So it's a great breed. Unlike a lot of cookie cutter breeds, where you're stuck with really one type of customer who wants that one cookie cutter type animal.
Sure.
Miniature Herefords come to mind, because when we talked about those, when we saw them at the Houston Livestock Show, and talked to, at that time, the biggest and if not the best breeder in the United States, he wanted us to buy on these little cows. But looking down the line, they were like little clones of each other. I like the difference. I can look at a cow across the way and I say, oh, that's Tessa. Oh, that's Millie. I'm not sure I could have done that with those. They're all identical.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's, when we went to Shamrock Acres for the first time, I have to use, they're not paying me to say their name, but it's the only one we went to. But
they're very well known.
Yeah,
Cat
cameo. We got to rub on stuff.
Bobby, come here.
He was out there going, oh, this one, and naming, and Cheryl are looking at each other like, how does he know this? And now though we have our herd, and we can go out and easily just pick it out. So it's amazing how you get to bond with the animals and know each one's personality and stuff like that, and like this kitty cat here. So you guys do. We spoke about it a little bit. I actually thought you harvested semen here, but you don't.
We do not. We bring them to a semen facility to what they do is they harvest the semen, they test it, they freeze it, they thaw it, they test it again. And so we just don't have that scientific background. We don't have that laboratory and all that. And so and so it's much better for us personally to bring it down there. Our very first time that we had a bull collected, we did have someone come out to the farm to collect, and he had a laboratory in his van, and so that was different. But this is less stress for everybody. And so sometimes we just bring the bull down there for a day, let him jump a couple times, they collect, and then they test and everything. And then other times we'll leave him down there for a week or 2 weeks, just depending on how much semen we want. Sometimes we just need the bull gone for,
it separates the animals out.
That's right, exactly.
I get it.
And so, if they have room, they charge, I think it's $10 a day board.
Well, that's not
and
bad.
so it's just like, you know what, can you stay there for a few more weeks? We don't need any more straws, but, they're fine with that.
Well, that's good.
So
it's good to have a relationship with them like that you can. So how do you so I spoke with Jim Whale, and he was saying that he uses the 3-point judging of bulls, decide whether or not he's going to keep it intact or castrate or band, whatnot. So how do you guys decide which bulls you want to, because you guys have impressive bulls. If you look at the website, freedomfarms.com, you guys have
freedomfarmdexters.com.
freedomfarmdexters.com, like I said. Sorry about that. We'll actually post all your contact info, and it'll be correct info.
Oh, correct.
So I apologize for that.
Oh, no problem at all.
But so how do you guys decide?
See, we've been in it for 25 years, right? And
right.
so we have great-grandparents and grandparents, and a lot of that's very predictable.
Sure, yeah.
And so a lot of times just the genetics of the bull will know right when it hits the ground that this is a keeper bull.
Okay.
Or, something that we'll want to keep and collect. And sometimes we sell our bulls after we collect them because we can't keep a dozen bulls here.
Sure.
And so we do that, and
then we use the two
works out. Yeah, we were told by, I don't know who,
Somebody
a
smarter than us.
long time ago, an old timer. I mean, he was in his 80s. I can picture him, but I have no idea where it was or anything else. And he said, if you look at a bull calf when it's 2 weeks old, as long as it wasn't sick and had an easy birth, you can tell what that bull's going to look like when it's an adult. And we have found that to be absolutely accurate information.
Okay.
And so if you're not sure about the genetics and, you don't know the mother and the grandmother and the great-grandmother and all that, and you just happen to have a bull calf, that's a good indicator. Now, we do breed for temperament. And so just because the, genetics are good, the body is good, the mama has, great milk supply and is a great mama, and her mama did too, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a wire loose, or something.
Right.
And that may not be, the perfect bull. A lot of people say don't handle your bulls and stuff, and we say absolutely handle your bulls.
Okay.
You don't trust a bull,
right?
We absolutely handle them. We put them in situations that they don't want to be in. We, do all sorts of stuff with the bulls, and that will measure their temperament. You do the same thing when you puppy test a puppy, which we'll be getting soon. You have to, roll it over on its back. They don't like it, but you see how it reacts, type thing. And so you grab a leg, you clip it, you halter break it, you back it into a corner, you tie it to a post and work around it and groom it and see how it reacts. And a lot of times that's a good indicator.
Sure.
And we've castrated many wonderful homozygous polled A2, great genetic bulls, because, honestly, if they look at me wrong, they're done.
Yeah.
They don't have to do much to draw the line, because we have plenty of great genetics either in the tank or on the ground, and what's one more in the freezer?
Always make room for one.
That's right.
I know there's a bull calf over there. You listening, buddy?
There's 2 bull calves, actually.
Okay.
So yeah, really just past genetics and temperament. temperament's a huge thing.
I will-
And a lot of times, I'm sorry.
No.
A lot of times when we collect, it's for our own, right? So
Sure.
we had 3 bulls, Rebel, Howie, and Wow Factor. They were all brothers, okay? Same sire, all fantastic mothers. And so I couldn't choose. Which bull are we going to keep? Couldn't choose. And so, well, we decided we'd collect them all, you know?
Okay.
And that way I have them all in my tank, and then we sold them all, you know? And so that gives me the option of, you know, AIing whatever I want.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to do
Yeah.
it, because then, yeah,
And also, if you have very valuable to you, you know, regardless of monetary output or whatever, if you there's a chicken fight going on somewhere. But if you really like your bull a lot, right? I would always, you know, that's one of the things we do is we collect them because you never know when that lightning is going to strike them.
this is a true statement.
You just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
I guess I've never thought of that.
And so
Yeah.
if you really want those genetics in your herd, well, it's safety. And we actually go beyond that, where we keep the semen in 2 different semen facilities. So
Just in case.
we have a tank in the house with the semen in it, and then we keep it in Alabama, and we keep it in Oklahoma. And so, you know, we just don't, we want our genetics. We've worked 25 years to have
get
those
'em, yeah,
genetics,
sure.
and so we don't want anything to happen to those straws.
There's a chicken fight coming towards us.
Hey, chicken!
I will say for temperament, we went out to the pasture, or out in the paddock out there, and we were greeted by every single cow. They wanted to come up and just get scratched on and loved on. So that was
Yeah.
awesome. I was in heaven
Yeah.
out there. I got to spend the whole day out there doing that.
And our bulls are the same. And you know that's really what we want from our bulls.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean,
Yeah.
because my wife's the same way. Cheryl's the same way. She wants to go out and she wants to be loved on. And
Yeah.
so we have the one steer. He's a little, bless you. He's a little bit
Come here.
not aggressive, but he's a little bit headstrong, and
Yeah.
he's got the horns. You guys can be on next. So it's okay. She's okay.
All right.
So that's a good way to do it. I mean, I guess in 25 years I'll probably have a better system than I do. But you know, that's a great point, because we really like our bull, and I like Alyssa says, that's why you have your bull, because you love, you know.
That's
so,
right.
Maybe that's something I should look into with him. There's got to be. I mean, we're close to MSU, so we got to have.
Yeah, and usually if you're just collecting for your own, you know, usually the place will take it. You just jump it a couple times. Usually, you know,
Sure.
if you have calves on the ground, then you know, then you should be able to just jump it a couple times. And then usually keeping the semen in their tank, or your veterinarian's tank, or whoever, is very affordable.
Okay.
Very affordable. To save those genetics, you know.
Sure. That's something I think we should look into. Hi, chicken. Come on up.
Chick, 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 yeah, chick, chick, chick.
So, this is something that I maybe other people do it, but you're the first one that I know of that does it, and Dexter's definitely that I know of. But you do when people buy your animals, even that chicken, they can. I love it. They do great in the show rings too. I mean, you guys are a big name in Dexter's. I mean, it is. I mean, everybody knows Freedom Farms in the Dexter world.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, that have been around. The new people will here. You know,
Right.
the people that get in it and stay in it will
Right.
eventually. Not the flash in the pan people, maybe,
We've been
but
in it a while.
yeah. So, so you guys, they do well in the show ring too, and you have an incentive program. That's what I haven't
We
heard
do.
of with other people, and that's pretty neat. Tell everybody about that. That's kind of
Well, I mean, when we started showing 15 years ago, 16 years ago, 18 years ago, whatever it was,
About 15.
we actually showed at the Houston Livestock Show. That was our very first show. Not the greatest first show.
That's a
and,
big one.
And we brought, 3 mature
bulls.
bulls. Yeah. Not the best way to start, but it got us hooked anyhow.
Yeah. So, tell me, you guys put on clinics on your
Yes.
website. People can look into it a little
Yep.
more. That's freedomfarmsdexters.com. We'll
Yep.
have that up there.
In warmer weather.
Yes. This is a difference in the country. I'm loving this weather. I'm like, this is great. And they're like, oh, it's so cold today. So what about the clinics? Like, what kind?
Well,
what are they?
We used to set an agenda for it would be a show clinic or a cow health clinic or a calving clinic. And then we just learned, as the years went by, that it's more, it's just basically a clinic open to anyone with any questions. And then really the whole clinic is driven by whatever the participants want. So if some want to know how to train a cow to show, then we do, that. If someone wants to know how to milk, all our cows are basically milkable. We'll bring them in, show them how to milk by hand, by machine, whatever you want to do. How to halt or break a calf. Of course, we can't help something birth on command, but we have had cows.
Only.
Yeah, we have actually had cows who will go into labor during a clinic. And so it's really anything that they sometimes they ask about fencing, and then Warren will take them out and show them all the fencing and the good points, the bad points about it. Just general care, veterinary care, dehorning. We've just about shown everything in clinics, but we find it goes a lot better, I think. And we've had large clinics, we've had small clinics, as far as just going off what the people there really want to learn.
Okay. Because, I know that when I initially set this up and spoke with you, it was something I would want to do. Yeah. Just to get a feel of what it was. And my son, he's still kind of green around cows. He's, so I thought that might be a good thing for him. So next trip, we're going to do one.
Absolutely.
When I come in August.
When it's
sometime.
Right. It really, anytime after the end of April, it's great here.
Yeah. See, we still get snow in April.
See, that's like a hard thing I got to remember here. Like in Connecticut, you start hay in the middle of June.
Yeah.
Here, it's the middle of May.
Yeah, middle of May.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're lucky to get cutting in Michigan in June. June. So,
yeah.
So, another calving season is here. We don't really have a schedule yet. We're trying to work that in. We're putting another paddock after we get that in. Like next year, we'll be able to actually schedule some calves. So how many do you expect to have?
Okay, so we don't have a calving season. We do calve year round.
That's what we do too. Okay.
We find we find it better, right? It's better for the market so that we don't flood the market with 52 calves
in spring and
right?
Then, yes.
We just have them throughout the year. It's better for folks that show that they have different calves for different classes. If you only calved, let's say in September and October, then you're going to have to pick through all your calves to see which one or two calves will be in that one class that they offer at the show, right?
Yeah.
So we do year round. Some months are better than others. A lot of people don't calve out in August around here because it is hot, but we haven't really had any difficulties. Of course, we do have this big barn. We have fans, so we can deal with that. Our dead winter calves, like in February really, is the most wintry, I guess, or the end of January here. Not wintry to you, but wintry to us.
Yeah.
Those calves are actually very vigorous, and we found that in Connecticut too. In December and January and February, those calves basically hit the ground running because they want that warm milk, right? So they jump up. In the summer calves, they're a lot of times slower. You have to be a little more cautious about letting them out when they're too young to have thermostatically controlled bodies. So they'll lay in the sun because it feels great, and then it feels great until it doesn't, and they're too hot to get up.
It's too late,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's the issue, with midsummer, but. We handle our cows. We have eyes on them and hands on them and everything every single day, every single cow. So it's something that we can manage.
And that's pretty remarkable for the size operation you have with the cows. I mean,
it'd be nice to have some help. We've had some help once in a while through the years, and I know. It's tough. If you want it done right, you do it yourself. And
it's tough to find reliable help anywhere anymore. So I get it.
Definitely. Now our sheep, that's a different story. We are going to have them hopefully within a 60-day window.
Okay.
And that is, we want them to lay them the end of December, January, and it's really for the Easter market. And so that's
sure.
the best market for
Sure.
the lamb. So, and we don't have hands on them unless we really need to.
Sure.
Most of them don't like it.
Yeah.
And,
and aren't shy about staying.
right. And they throw their weight around quite well.
We talked about hoof trimming them. So
yeah.
he's,
It is.
get some bruises that way.
Yeah, it's difficult, but they are there for meat. They're not there for show. They're not there for breeding stock, really.
Just to have them.
They're there for meat. So.
Yep, and I love lamb meat.
I do not, but
No?
if the customers do, then
And I do.
yeah, he does, but he doesn't really count.
I was going to ask if you're going to the Ohio Valley, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be canceled.
We were absolutely planning. We already have our reservations.
Us too.
And I was certain that I'm going to get my surgeon's okay in a couple of weeks to show cattle in steel-toed boots. But I'm afraid that with this going around,
It's going to be. I haven't heard anything yet. No one's
No.
even hinted towards it, but if the way the world's working right now, I would
right
assume that it's
now,
going to
and
be
the
canceled.
ADCA has already put out that warning that
yeah.
just put it in our heads that I mean,
Plan like it's not, but
Right.
expect that it could be is what I
Yeah.
guess all we can
Yeah.
do. So you guys wouldn't go to the ADCA show
we
or go and not
Nebraska
bring cattle?
is so far, and it depends because, the May show, the Ohio show rather, was supposed to break in our new caretaker, and so that was going to be kind of a trial run, and because we'd only be gone 2 days, and so if it all worked out, which I imagine it would because she's a quite responsible young lady, then we might
Be able to
consider
go
going
home.
to the AGM.
Sure.
Whether it's hauling cattle and that distance, it would probably just be steers, show
Sure,
steers,
sure.
or older heifers that aren't bred yet.
Okay.
But time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be a shame for it to be canceled, but I guess I would get it.
Oh,
I
sure.
understand at this point. The world's kind of
Yeah. It's,
dystopian novel.
It's
right
just
now,
too unknown.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too much unpredictable stuff.
Right.
So, what is your absolute? If you had to pick a favorite Dexter memory, I'm gonna start asking this question. I think on everybody's show too.
okay.
If you had to pick one out of, because every day could be a new one, but if you had to pick,
I
one.
have to say, and you're right, for the past 25 years, every single day, there's something else.
Yeah, they're just
that's great.
Yeah, there's super
and
animals.
there's stuff every day that's not so great, right?
Right.
So I'd have to say that the very one thing is seeing that little dun, short-legged cow walk out of that barn the first time I'd ever laid my eyes on a Dexter, and that did it.
Yeah,
That did it.
that's great.
So, there's so many other, we were out there, oh, she's my favorite, oh, she's my favorite,
Yeah.
I love all of our cows, and, if we don't, we eat them, so.
it's an unfortunate nature of
Well,
the,
and it is a great nature. You couldn't do that with our horses,
Right.
Or not be frowned upon.
that's
So the cows are great, and we don't keep females or we don't sell females that we don't love, and so every day working with these great animals makes a great memory. But I guess if just one has to stand out, it's got to be the cow that started it all.
Yep. That's a little one.
Yeah,
That's
Lady
great.
B. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but is there anything else that I didn't ask that you were like, oh, I hope he asked this, or
I don't know.
or anything that you want to add?
I think that marketing, a lot of people have some problems with marketing. Facebook now shutting down the animals
yeah.
for sale. The best thing I think is, of course, get your name out there. So showing is a great thing.
Yep.
For that, even if you don't do super well, even if you've never shown before, there's always a Dexter person willing to help you.
And that's
always.
That's one thing I've learned about the Dexter community, because we know nothing coming into Dexters pretty much. And we still haven't shown yet, but the outreach has been amazing.
Yeah.
And
everyone wants to help everyone.
Yep, and that's the best. One of the best things about
Yeah,
Dexters.
and we're all in it, right? And so helping marketing, a lot of people bring that up in clinics, and that's why I'm bringing it up now. Really, it's not the associations, either PDCA or ADCA's responsibility to do your marketing.
No.
And so the beef marketing, the milk cow, if you do that marketing, the Dexter breeding stock marketing, it's kind of all you. And so it's good to have a website. I know that there are places that have free websites. We pay for ours through HostGator, but we love HostGator. And just getting the word out there. As far as beef is pretty easy to market.
Especially now, yeah.
You might have to give away a few pounds of ground beef, here and again, but
Sure.
once they taste it, they're back.
Yep.
And so, and there's a really big beef market, and I know there's a lot of discussion sometimes on the sites on Facebook about, and one person in particular, don't sell your cows for less than their beef value, and that's accurate. If you have a cow that you're not real fond of, then market her as beef. The beef is fantastic. Now, and a lot of people, like myself, like this, we have a British white cow right across the aisle from us. Is she a super great cow? Yeah. I think so. Is she a pet? Absolutely.
Yeah. I can tell.
So she's a pet cow. And so if we had to get rid of her for any reason, I would not market her as meat. I would find somebody who wanted a pet cow. And, probably not get what she's worth in beef, but,
Peace of mind
whatever.
is worth a lot.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And so, but marketing is everyone's responsibility. People call here asking if we have breeding stock or calf or whatever. And if I don't, and I know someone who does, I am, or sometimes I'll just say, let me call you back, and I'll call Kathy Cheney, and I'll
Sure.
call the Mullins, and I'll call, all over locally, at least if the buyer is local, and see, what do you have? Do you have this? Do you have this? And it's just helping everyone. It is a big Dexter community. Like most breeds, there are folks that will never get Dexters.
No.
And there are folks who have never owned Angus and think they're the greatest things,
Yep.
because they haven't owned them, but
Exactly.
or tasted Dexter, that's an argument that you have to be prepared for every day.
And I work with a lot of people that show Key and Angus, and so I hear it daily.
Yeah, oh sure, and especially when we started showing, right? We started a lot of Dexter shows because no one had heard of Dexters. Dexters just weren't part of the show program, and so we'd go, and a lot of times even the judges were like,
What is
tell
this?
me a little bit about what this is, And, we had our hard knocks. It was hard getting all those shows started because a lot of times we had to show AOB for 3 years in a row.
Yes.
And then start Dexter's. And it really got hard when we were winning the AOBs against Shorthorns and Maine Anjous and stuff with our Dexters. In fact, there was actually a time in Knoxville, right, that we won with our bull. I think it was our bull against a Shorthorn bull that obviously the owners thought that he should have won. They actually filed a protest that, and that's the only way that you can't really change the judge's mind, but it's a protest. And so it had to be studied, and then the judge was just like, no, it's a better bull. So, and then, then you get enemies, and it's, that's everywhere. Whether you're showing horses, goats, sheep, cattle, doesn't matter.
See, I don't feel like that's an issue within the Dexter society. I'm sure there's rivalries maybe to an extent, but I don't think someone's going to protest a decision on someone else.
No. I certainly have never heard of one in a Dexter show.
It definitely,
showing as Dexter.
I've definitely heard of this more than one time. If you go into the Hereford, into the beef breed, the standard beef breeds.
Right.
I've heard this several times from my friends at show have been protested.
They get their feelings hurt that a smaller cattle won because, of course, in the beef breeds, it's not true but a lot of people think it is true, is bigger is better.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Which isn't true, no matter what breed it is. But, so yeah, with that mentality, when a, 600-pound bull wins against your, 1,800-pound bull, then,
So I almost, I have to laugh. I'm sorry. They're barn cat over here. He's a good sized fellow. He jumped off the top rail and almost ended right up inside this 55-gallon
barrel, because the top almost tipped in on him.
That was like a cartoon kind of thing. You see right there. So that was great.
That's a daily occurrence here.
So, well, I can't thank you guys enough for taking your time. I'd like to think this program maybe helps market Dexter's a little bit. I mean, if nothing else, to keep it in their
To
community.
get the word out, sure.
Sure, so that's another advantage, I think, of this, but time will tell. The jury's out. If I can get more than 4 listeners.
I looked up last night. You have more than 4 listeners.
I'm averaging enough. I do. I kid around. But yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking time. I know you guys are sitting here freezing cold. And just
we are freezing cold.
Look at this weird guy from Michigan that's like, how's this jackwagon warm over here?
And I mean, it's 50.
Yeah.
But it's freezing.
I think it's mid-50s almost, yeah. So I love it.
So we sure appreciate you coming down. Wish the weather was better for you, as far as sun and dry.
For us, anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah, the trip down was a little, I admit, going through the mountains it was really pouring. It was a little
last night.
A little daunting, but hey, it's part of the game, right?
You're here.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I made it. And I know you guys are really busy, so I really appreciate it.
But we have some bottle lambs that are screaming.
Yeah.
I can hear them.
I took some pictures. I got the new camera, like I said, so I don't know how great they are yet, but I will definitely send those out and I'll post them.
Perfect.
I'll probably have the pictures up tonight.
Awesome.
The video I'm going to shoot for next Saturday.
Okay.
So this is a week from today when it'll be a little warmer. So thank you again, Sally and Warren, very much. Thank you. I can't say it enough.
No, thank you.
So please like and share the episodes. If you guys do like them, you should. They're kind of fun. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you guys don't miss the new one. I mentioned already this is going to be I'll be a little more consistent. I was pretty consistent last season, but I think I'll be more consistent. I'll have recorded ahead of time, get them out there. So as always, we will post links to me, my sponsors, Freedom Farms.
Yep, freedomfarmdexters.com or freedomfarmsmeats.com. We have 2 websites.
We'll put them both up.
Perfect.
With contact phone numbers and all the whole shebang.
Awesome.
We'll put them up there. And thank you everyone so much for listening. You can get out there and represent our Dexters proudly. So,
that's right.
And we'll see you next time.
Stay well.
Thanks.